Welcome inside the locker room on a holiday feel good Friday morning here on Smooth 98.1. This is where we love music, we love life, and we love sports as well. And that is what the locker room is all about. It's 16 minutes past 8 a.m. And we are about to dive into the best of the best where sports is concerned. Looking back to yesterday and looking forward to the weekend as well. It's going to be an interesting, interactive session as it always is. My name is Ayokunmi Kekirea. Great to have you join us this morning even as you're enjoying your Salah holiday. Well, also joining me this morning because she loves sports and she loves being here with us. And of course, banterizing those who need to be bantered. The one and only sports giantess herself, Tega the Tiger Supreme. Tega, good morning to you.
Good morning. What do you say? Happy Salah. What's the greeting?
Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak. Okay. Eid Mubarak, everybody. They keep claiming this is not the Salah for meat, but I'm sure they're going to eat meat at the end of today. Even if it's not raw meat. Share these things, spread the love. All right. On that note, I hope everybody's doing very well. Last night's biggest shock of my life. So the Miami Open has started, and last night Iga Swiatek played her first match at the tournament, and she lost.
Ah,
Is the first time in over 73 matches she's lost her first match at a tournament, but the impact was, or the damage was done nonetheless. Lost in 3 sets, but yeah, very poor performance. Even she, by the time the night was done, she was in shock that she just lost. But yeah, that's what's happening. Today it would be Carlos Alcaraz, one of the favorite men's tennis players, taking on Yao Fonseca, one of the most hyped tennis men's players. I don't understand what it is about Fonseca. Fonseca has the same um, fandom that Yala has. He's loud, he's
I wonder
crazy.
why.
Exactly. But you see all the Brazilians wearing their football jersey. So and we are in Miami, the haven of South America. So it's going to be loud tonight. So yes, we're going to watch Carlos Alcaraz take on Yao Fonseca. But that's what's happening in tennis. We'll also touch a little bit on uh, what's happening in football. Um, what's Senegal saying about the announcements that have been made, all the little tricks and taunts that have gone online, including their president taking a picture with the trophy in the back. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about this weekend, what's happening. There's a League Cup final between Arsenal and Manchester City. So this
Oh,
is
yes.
round one of the next few fixtures that they're going to have. We'll touch on that. We'll also touch a little bit on the UEFA Champions League and then the upcoming weekend matches. All of that and more inside the locker room today. But before we do any talking, Ayokumi, tell us how we can be a part of the locker room today.
All right, you can join us in the locker room this morning by sending messages to us on WhatsApp, leaving comments on YouTube as well, and enjoying everything locker room. This morning, the WhatsApp number is 0911 990 YouTube, we're streaming live at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Leave all your comments there. Padre Payo already in the front seat, planting himself. Welcome. Looking forward to more comments this morning. All right, let's begin talking about this new FIFA ruling. Very interesting development here because it says that all teams participating in a women's tournament organized by FIFA will be required to have a female head coach or assistant after football's governing body passed groundbreaking regulations at its council meeting on Thursday. Tega, what is going on here? You're muted, Tega.
Uh,
It happens. It
okay,
happens.
so it happens. Yes. It's also what FIFA has been trying to do. So remember, I've said this thing before, and again, it touches a little bit because sometimes when we have these conversations, people just say things like, "Why are they making rules for women and none for men?" There are certain things you're trying to fill a cup that has been empty for a while. It's not going to be the same. So bottom line, what they're saying is some of these ex internationals tend to go into coaching, but there is nowhere to get jobs after they finish all their trainings. And so, as part of the gender equality movement, this is what is going to be compulsory. Because sometimes you go to a women's tournament and look at the entire coaching staff.
All men.
All men. For several reasons. There's the sensitivity of the fact that you're coaching a women's team, but also there are so many women's coaches not getting the jobs. Because again, whether you agree or not, it has been for a long time the men's game. Even when you look at football, the men's game is more advanced. And so they are far ahead when it comes to getting jobs, getting the networks and all of that. And women are far behind. So now they're making it compulsory. If you are in a women's tournament, a woman should be on your bench as an assistant coach. You can't just bring her there as a physio and say and say, hey, there's the woman that helps balances our bench out. No. So either she's the head coach or she's the assistant. I think is the specificity in the role that is the big change. So because normally you would see a woman maybe just hanging around as one of, like I said, maybe a physio or something. But now they're saying assistant coach or head coach. So it's the specificity in the role that changes it. What that means is women now have the opportunity to advance their career. They have the position. I think FIFA had to do it, which is sad, unfortunately, because sometimes when you're trying to build something new, first of all, you have to enforce it as law before it becomes common. So, for instance, remember when England was trying to promote English players because there was money coming into English football, but it was not impacting the English people. Teams will have money. They will go hire all the players from everywhere around the world.
Except
and
England.
and English footballers are just there, not getting any one of it. And then they made that law where you had to have in fact, in your first 11, not just on your team, in your first starting 11, you had to have an English player or a particular number of English players. I mean, they have relaxed on the rule now because English football players have started coming in, but yeah, they had to make the law at some point that you have to have this. It helps grow what you want to grow. And so FIFA has decided to do that now compulsory. So let's see how it works out for teams. There are teams that may need to change their dynamics, but let's see how it works out on teams. Yes.
Right. Okay. Let's see how this one works out and how well it's going to be implemented going forward. Still talking about footballing matters. Let's talk about Senegal. Of course, they have been in the news in the last couple of days, and they're not going anywhere anytime soon. Well, the Senegalese Football Federation announced on Thursday it has instructed its lawyers to lodge an appeal to the Court of Arbitration for Sport after the national team was stripped of its Africa Cup of Nations title. We keep on keeping on this one, Tega.
All right. Yes, they have to. I would have been shocked if they just took the ruling like that. Like I said, a few things. I remember at the end of the tournament, people were saying, were they going to be stripped of the title? Only for them to now be stripped of the title, and people are acting shocked. Why would you strip them of the title? So a few things. It's important to know that they're taking that route, and I like when Patrice Motsepe came out with his statement at the end of all the drama, and he said, look, at the end of the day, we want all 54 nations to be entitled to take their decisions. Nobody is getting more advantage than the other, regardless of what has been spread around. And for me, it was important that he came to take that stand. But more importantly, yes, I like the fact that Senegal know now that they have the option and they're going to use it. And the truth of the matter is they have a strong case in CAF. But I like to explain. I've seen a lot of misinterpretation going on, and a lot of people are taking this thing as it's great stuff, and it's not. The Article 8.2, Article 8.3, and Article 8.4 Some people are even deliberately misinterpreting it, because the article that the CAF Appeals Committee used to strip Senegal of the AFCON title is pretty simple. It says anybody that breaks Article 82 and 83 would be punished with 84. And people have interpreted that to mean that you must break Article 82 and Article 83 because the rule doesn't say all. But here's what that really means. Because, I mean, you don't know the articles, so let me break down the articles. 82, any team that leaves the pitch without the authorization of the referee or walks out on the match without the authorization of the referee, it shall be considered as a forfeiture, and they'll be automatically disqualified from the match. Okay. Then 83 goes on to say any team that doesn't show up 15 minutes before the start of the match. That doesn't show up. No, that doesn't show up for the match on the same time, and they'll be given 15 minutes to show up. If after those 15 minutes they don't show up, it shall be considered as a forfeiture. Now, that's 83. Then 84 now says anybody guilty of 82 and 83 will suffer 84, which is they'll be disqualified, and they will lose the match by 3-0. Now, what it simply means is you cannot commit an Article 82 and 83. It's impossible because Article 83 deals with a start or a restart of a match. So ideally, the only teams that so once the match is about to start and you don't show up, or once they've come back from halftime and you don't show up, or once they're about to start extra time and you don't show up in those 15 minutes, those are the only times you can fail Article 83. So you cannot commit Article 82 and 83 ever. What the interpretation of that 84 simply is that any team that commits Article 82 and any team that commits Article 83 will be punished with 84. But people are just deliberately, the people are just deliberately trying to say because the wording was not so clear, they can argue on the wording, and that's what the court is for. They should go and argue on that. That's the first clarification. And then the second clarification I gave on Monday, where they said the referee's decision is final. Yes, the referee's decision is final, but let's also remember that there are situations where disciplinary committee can step in. For instance, South Africa versus Lesotho, the referee's decision was final. The match commissioner, the referee, they submitted their report. They said South Africa won by 2-0. The 3 points were awarded to South Africa, only for Lesotho to protest that they had an ineligible player. And then Nigeria was upgraded in the World Cup qualifying, if you can remember. So yes, the referee's decision is final, but if they find out that there was an error or a misapplication of the law or all of that, then the referee's decision stopped being final. So you can't just be throwing Law 5 around and saying because of that there's no case. I think the real case that Senegal has is that historically, CAF likes to lean towards results on the pitch. So if they had to choose between a technicality and a result on the pitch, they usually lean towards results on the pitch.
Results on the pitch.
Yeah, so that's the strong case for CAF. They would say, okay, why don't you hold on to the result and then punish Senegal? I think that's where CAF will come down. That's what makes Senegal's case really strong. CAF may come out and say, yeah, but there was a result on the pitch. So why don't we hold on to the result on the pitch and then punish Senegal for walking out?
Exactly. Well, I mean, now that the Senegalese Football Federation have lodged that appeal or have been instructed to lodge that appeal, the world is watching to see how this. So the world is watching to see how this is going to play out. But it usually takes time.
It will take a while. So sometimes when you take these cases to the Court of Arbitration for Sports, it could take up to 6 months to 1 year. It could. But there is an AFCON coming up soon. So I think that would hasten what CAF and Senegal are doing. Yeah.
The sooner the better for everybody. All right, let us take a break. When we come back in, we'll be talking some league football We're talking about Man United boss Michael Carrick, who expects a hard test against resolute Bournemouth coming up tonight. Stay with us.
Bele?
With next AFCON is next year now.
Yes. Yes,
Wait, so
2027.
So when does okay? So after that, it's now 4 years.
Yes.
Okay, okay. They should just do quick and sort this thing out.
They have to. My only annoyance is that ultimately, for me, Senegal will now get away without punishment. That's the one that will annoy me. Because I think they should have been severely punished. I really blame that disciplinary committee. If I see them, I can poke my finger in their right eye, but I don't have power.
I just
So they'll
wonder
be all
what
right.
I just wonder what their thought processes were when they came to those conclusions they came to.
Yeah. So again, when you look at all these things, people are saying, let's look at it logically and objectively, and nobody's looking at it logically and objectively. The truth of the matter is, a lot of people wanted Morocco not to win. So any ruling that favors Morocco in this case, nobody's looking at it objectively. But yeah, and they should have used sport lawyers as opposed to regular lawyers, which is what regular judges, which is what they did.
All right, let's jump back in. All right, welcome into the second half of the locker room. This is the Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life, love sports. That is what the locker room is all about. If you're just tuning in, you are welcome to the smooth sporting side of life. 32 minutes past 8 a.m. My name is Ayokunmi Kekirieko. And Tega Supreme is with me as well, doing justice to the sports stories. Please do join us also. Give us your own perspectives, your own feedback, your own views. 0911 999 0981. That is the WhatsApp number. Let me take that again. 0911 999 0981. You can also join the live stream on YouTube. We are at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Right, take it. Let's jump into Premier League football and talk about Michael Carrick, who has told his Manchester United side to ready themselves for an awkward encounter away to Bournemouth on Friday as they look to maintain their challenge for a Champions League place. Bournemouth has been a difficult team for United recently, and they're going to have to deal with that today.
Yeah, but Manchester United have faced some of the teams that they struggled against. In their recent form, they've been able to get all three results. It's been great for them. Manchester United right now are flying high, and also the important thing is that they're getting more rest days than they usually would, because usually, uh, what could what could derail your ambitions could be fatigue, injuries, wear and tear, and
Right.
then the pressure of playing high intensity matches back to back can be able. Manchester United don't have those problems. It's almost as if they finish a match, they can go to Ibiza for a break and then come back. And then come back and complete the season. And so they don't have the pressure of those matches like 2 times a week, like most people, like Arsenal and Manchester City would have. So they're doing fairly well, and they come up against a Bournemouth side who really had to find a balance after losing a few key players. So it's been an interesting one. Yes, they're still a tough side to beat, but when you look at the firepower that Manchester United has unleashed, especially under Michael Carrick, where goals are coming in smoothly, goals are coming in aplenty. Even when they concede goals, they go back and score two for good measure. You look at the form of Sesko, who comes off from the bench, and he must score a goal once he comes off from the bench. It's almost as if that's in his contract. And then you look at Matheus Cunha is suddenly finding himself scoring again. And you look at the spirit around the Manchester United team. It's going to be tough to see how on this Friday night Manchester United doesn't come away with all 3 points. We're not saying it's going to be easy. We are saying it's not going to be impossible for them to come away with a win. So yes, I like the fact that Michael Carrick is putting his team on it, because sometimes when you get into that winning rhythm, after getting results back to back, you
Yeah.
now also put fear in your opponents. So teams now come against Manchester United expecting to suffer and expecting to lose. And that's the psychological advantage to the team. So I think I like the fact that he's pressing on this, because if you look at the form of both teams, yes, Bournemouth are a tough side to beat, but with the form that Manchester United are in, you'd give them the advantage to come out this Friday night with a win. But like I said, it's football and anything can happen. So
Oh, yes.
let's see how Michael Carrick and his boys keep going. Will they be able to get another win tonight? Yes. Um, would Bournemouth allow them to get it easily? That one, I don't think so.
It's going to be an interesting one later tonight. We'll see how that one plays out. My fingers and toes are definitely crossed where that is concerned. All right, let us head over to Spain, where Real Madrid goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois will be out for up to 6 weeks with a leg muscle injury, ruling him out of next month's Champions League quarterfinals against Bayern Munich in another fitness blow for the Spanish side. Big blow for them.
A blow for them, but they were fine without him against Manchester City in the Champions League. Remember, Manchester City came in brilliantly, and the result went a different way for Manchester City too. So people may not have taken notice, but Manchester City did create chance after chance, and the goalkeeper came up and saved it. Goalkeeper was like, "Yeah, I may not be Thibaut Courtois, but you're not scoring me. You're not using me to make headlines. I don't want to be another Kinski who was put in goal and suddenly the team considered goal after goal." So I'm not saying that he's not important. I'm not saying that he won't be missed. I'm just saying that um, yes, it's going to be tough for them to do without him, especially defensively. But they have a good replacement. And their immediate worry right now will be this weekend, because this weekend is the Madrid derby. Atletico Madrid on Real Madrid. Now, remember, Atletico Madrid did a good job this year on Real Madrid. It's revenge time. And it is important for Real Madrid to get all points because they want to keep it close with Barcelona. At this
Oh,
point in
yes.
time, it's a 4 point gap between both teams. Barcelona plays earlier than I think Barcelona plays earlier than Real Madrid on Sunday because they play against Rayo Vallecano in the earlier fixture, and then Atletico Madrid versus Real Madrid play next. Play not next, but play that evening.
Mm,
So what they would like to do is put the pressure on Barcelona, so that if Barcelona drops the ball at any time, they are right there to take advantage of it. So it will be important for them, number one, to win this to keep the pressure on Barcelona. Number two, to get their bragging rights. Because whenever Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid meet, it's always about minding the gap and keeping
mm. Yes,
keeping
so.
the dominance up. So let's see how it pans out for them. Real Madrid are in a good place right now, especially after the results against Manchester City in the Champions League. Um, Atletico Madrid will also be in a good place because they're also qualified, albeit they lost their match against Tottenham Hotspur. So
But
they're
fortunately for
fragile.
them, they did the job in the first
Yeah,
leg,
they did the business.
just like in the Copa del Rey semi-final too. They did the job in the
Yeah,
first leg. Fortunately
they
for
they
them.
did they did the business. But they lost the match, so they are vulnerable a little bit. And Real Madrid would like to take advantage of that. So that's what makes this fixture really interesting. Let's see how it pans out for both teams.
Right. Well, another fixture that's coming up that will be very interesting is PSG taking on Liverpool. And Arne Slot believes Liverpool fired a warning shot to PSG, showing what they're capable of in a 4-0 thrashing of Galatasaray on Wednesday that set up that blockbuster quarterfinal.
Opposition is different, please. Yeah. Quality of opposition is different, please. You can't say, "Oh, we scored 4 goals, so PSG now know that we can score." Quality of opposition
Yeah,
is different.
how now? You can only
Please,
beat what's in
please.
front of you.
Yeah, they've beaten what's in front of them, but don't use that as an assessment to beat what's to come. Because the fact that you jumped over step one doesn't mean that step two may be that easy. But it was important, again, like you said, to beat the team that was in front of them. So they get another opportunity for a revenge mission. And PSG did a fantastic job on Chelsea. And in recent time, if you look at their results from last season in the Champions League till now, they have clear dominance over English teams.
Mm.
So it's going to be interesting to see what Liverpool has to say about that, especially after last season. It's going to be interesting to see what they say about that. But yes, they meet again, and at this point in time, it will be important for Liverpool to cross that hurdle. But Liverpool are in the final eight, and the slot can breathe again for a few weeks. So
For a few
before
weeks.
before
How
the
many
fans
weeks?
come for him.
How many weeks though? We don't know right now.
We don't know.
But at least at the moment, his nose will not be blocked. That's
Mm-hmm.
the important thing. All right, let's talk about the League Cup final, which comes up this weekend. And Man City manager Pep Guardiola wants defender Mark Gahey to be allowed to play in that final against Arsenal, saying the club will ask organizers to reconsider the eligibility
They are not
rules.
reconsidering. The rule is simple. That a player can play for two different clubs in the same year in the same competition, but the player has to have signed before the first leg of the semi-finals.
Right.
McGahey signed 6 days after Manchester City's first leg in the semi-finals. He's
Yeah.
cup tied. Look, they've even given wiggle room that in the same season you can compete for two different clubs. And Man City has already benefited for that with Semenyo.
Right.
Yeah, you can't get lucky two times. It's not happening like that. So
And
he is cup tied, so he's definitely missing.
of course, I
He's
mean, the rule was
definitely
there
missing that.
before. It's not like, oh, they just woke up and just put the rule there. It was there before.
Exactly. Then you now want to go and meet the. What do you want to tell? If you had major injuries and it's something you can say, oh, league, please consider we have major injuries like Bayern Munich did, where they had no goalkeeper. If you had that kind of situation with your defense, then you can say, oh, league, please consider the extenuating circumstances. But you don't have that problem. He's just your preferred centre back and you want him available. My friend, go and use the people that you're paying salary. Let them work for their pay. But it'll be interesting to see. Arsenal is taking on Manchester City, and this time there's a trophy waiting at the end of the match. The trophy will be on the pitch side, just looking at both of them, for who will take that trophy, and that makes it a little different. We're not fighting for 3 points. It's not a long marathon that you can
Mm.
pace yourself. This one, beat your opposition and carry the cup immediately.
Straight
And that's
shootout.
what's going to make it tight. Yeah, straight shootout. And so Arsenal with in formidable form, but Manchester City with the experience in winning trophies is what is going to count. So it's going to be interesting to see how this apprentice takes on his master. It's not like the apprentice hasn't beaten his master before in this kind of straight shootouts, but especially with the season that Manchester City has had, and especially with the fact that they just got knocked out of the Champions League. Sorry, they didn't get knocked out. They got kicked out of the Champions League in
Mm.
emphatic fashion. They're going to want to make a statement by winning this. So it adds or it sweetens the deal for them, and it sweetens the deal for all the neutrals that are watching. So wait and see how this pans out. Apart from Gahey, I think Gahey is the one key player they'll be missing. Erling Haaland will be looking to put his career back on track because he's really gone off track for a while.
Yeah. His recent
But
form.
the Arsenal players, to them, it will also be important for them to win this, and it will help them in their push in the Champions League and in the Premier League, where Manchester City is chasing them.
Yes, indeed. It's going to be a very, very, very blockbuster one. Man City taking on Arsenal in the League Cup final this weekend. All right, let's jump into the messages real quick. Let me see. Where do I begin? All right, Felix, I see you. Good morning. He's in Mindy, Maryland. Felix says, I really enjoyed last night's Europa League matches. I hope Real Madrid continues this good form against Atletico this weekend. Also, Arsenal versus Man City will be interesting to watch. Thanks. Thank you very much, Felix, for sharing that message. Aya from Festac says, Tega, does this FIFA rule on women's football give any locals arguments any muscle? I
Elia
don't know.
Luko's argument always had muscle. It just seemed like she was picking on Ian Wright. Um, and I thought I'd broken that down. Okay, let me use 1 minute to break that down. It's simple. Women's football has not yet developed to that level. So the platforms available to women, ex-internationals, which is where they will primarily dominate, is not enough. which means that they had to have more consideration when it came to, big broadcasting matches. Yeah.
Yeah.
Enieluko's, her argument had always held water. The problem is she seems to be picking on Ian Wright. It was like there was a bone to pick. Like Ian Wright is the guy. Ian Wright, what's happening? Ian Wright is the guy that grew the game. Also, he had, every expertise, quality, and even popularity to be there. So Enieluko's argument was not wrong in and of itself. I think it was because it seemed targeted at always Ian Wright. That's where it was.
Right. All right. I hope that answers your question. Another AY from Oniru this time says this new ruling from CAF has opened the Pandora's box because now even Guinea can come out to challenge CAF over what Morocco did against them in the 1976 Nations Cup final, where the Moroccan players walked off the pitch and later came back to continue the match, which was exactly the same thing Senegal did in December 2025.
Okay, so let me explain how football rules work. So when certain things happen, then the football governing body makes certain rules. So it's not like there haven't been walk-offs ever. The reason why you even have the rule that if you now walk off, this is the consequence, is that teams used to walk off and come back. And so in order to reduce that walking off and come back, the punishment over time became more stringent. Do you now understand? So yes, even if the situation was the same, the consequence is now different. So you can't come back and bring 1976. 1976 was a different time. It's like saying, oh, now that there's VAR, can we review the hand of God and now collect the trophy from you? You cannot do that.
And even in cases like this, Tega, even in modern cases, is there a statute of limitations as to when the opposing team can protest or something? Does that apply?
No, there's no. In fact, it's because of this. It's because of this walk off.
We can't hear you, Tega.
Or if you don't come back, walk off. Whether it's 2 seconds or 2 minutes. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
There's no such thing. You can't go back all the way to 97. What I'm saying is laws has evolved over time. So the rules became more stringent, which is why there hasn't been any walk-offs in recent time.
Right. All right.
So yeah.
Nathan Njoku in Kirikiri Town says, "Good morning, guys. Okay, no, Tega has answered that question, so I won't even bother." And he then says, "I like the way Liverpool lined up on Wednesday. Everybody played in their right positions and everyone knew what was at stake and brought the intensity needed. But why do we lack consistency? Arne Slot, keep it simple. Don't overthink things and make the right changes at the right time. And we are good. We continue winning till the end of the season, cha." Don't hold your breath, Nathan. Don't hold your breath. Tayo Najas says, "The gender balance for women's football is a welcome development. African football under Motsepe is just messy. He should take a decision and stop this confusion. If Tega doesn't study law, I'll sue her." Ayo, is Man United feeling lucky this weekend? Tayo, I don't know. I haven't checked my crystal ball. EPL football will humble you. Look at Holland playing like an average guy. Stay humble. Stay humble indeed. Let me go to YouTube. Padre Pius says, "So English teams aren't as invisible as we thought. What was with Newcastle? Only Arsenal doing the Lord's work. Liverpool and no Retsuna." Lucas Stogan says, "I hope FIFA defines what a woman in that document is. Natural born women." See where you hang ball. And Ayafeda says, "I told you guys on Wednesday that Barca will completely destroy Newcastle, but I didn't believe me." Well. The music they had in that Spotify camp, no, that music not be here at all. But anyway, thank you very much for the messages. We gotta go.
All right, thank you so much for your messages, and thank you for tuning into Smooth 98.1 FM to listen to the Locker Room. Thank you for always supporting us. We have something in the works coming up. Well, myself and Ayo will iron out the kinks, and then we'll come back to you with them. On that note, yes, remember, it's still the weekend, so you know what to do. Cross those fingers and raise your hands over your head and pray that your team is not fodder for banter. On that note, have a fantastic weekend.
Have a great weekend, Tega. Looking forward to the show on Monday. And as Tega said, we are cooking. When the food done, we'll let you know. And do keep up with us on our socials. You can find us on X and on Instagram. On Instagram, we're at Smooth981. On X/Twitter, we are at Smooth981FM. My name is Ayokunmi Kiki Rekon. Keep listening to the Smooth Breakfast. This is Smooth 98.1.